Good evening, buddy. Hey, no worries, man. I'm also having a very tiring time, but may your voice heal me. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope my voice heals you. Alrighty, let's you can hear me well, right? Cedric Marolo, hey guys. Let me see, did anyone join? Yeah, people are joining. Nice. Cool, cool. All right, let me just get started here a little bit. Yeah, let me just open up some things. Okay, let me just get some water. Actually, I want more. Alrighty, so you're saying that the sound is loud and clear. Good. Let's kind of get started here a bit. Let me just close up some stuff. Close chat. Close these things. Music, I guess, is fine. Give me 1 second here. I suppose I can just do this. How long is it taking you to build? This platform has been built for a long time. I built it almost primarily in a stream. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a very, you could say, it's a very long process. And hi everybody on YouTube. It's a very long process. It's a lot of things, a lot of libraries we had to build, a lot of things. So, you know, you can build a clone of this platform in 2 days. Like you can build a clone of Facebook in 2 days as well. But if you want to build a real platform that's secure, that works, that etc., that takes a long time. So how long, I don't know, but it takes time. Building anything great that you can actually share with people and have people sign up and use it, that takes time, right? But I don't quantify it in time. I do this when I can, and that's what it is, kinda, right? So how long, I honestly don't know. Now with AI, it's a lot more pleasant to build things like this on my own, and also having Cedric now, because I can achieve a lot more on my own, right? So AI has enabled me to feel like I have an actual team building this, and that I'm not on my own, because now I'm a Django developer. I know very little about JavaScript. What you recommend me? I would recommend you to go to Gemini. I have actually a very good recommendation because I'm doing this as well. You go to Gemini, you go to you go to guided learning, and you say, I'm a Django developer. I have a good grasp of software engineering principles and patterns. Map Django features to well, Django is a framework, it's not a language, right? So you can say map, what was it? Python features to JavaScript 1-to-1 and teach me the most core things in a week, right? So you need to, I don't know, I just hear from you for the first time, but I would say start with a prompt like this, and then this guided learning is gonna take you to, I use this myself to learn many things, not just programming, history and medicine and pharma and bunch of I'm interested into many subjects in life, right? So this is fantastic resource, one of the best resources right now, and it doesn't have to be Gemini. I'm sure that other AI providers offer this as well. So I just have, I actually have all of them, but I'm also paying for this one as well. So yeah, so that's what I would suggest. Yes. Okay, great. Let's start the stream. So I've done a lot of amazing things for Programmer Network past couple of days. Dev everywhere. Hey, good evening, buddy. So I've done a lot of awesome things. By the way, for those of you who didn't sign up, please go and sign up on www.programmer.network. So what I've done last night, I have kind of improved our dashboard a lot. So we now have this lock menu. My pleasure, man. So now you can kind of minimize the the sidebar, which was very irritating. Thank you, Cedric, for the suggestion. I appreciate it. And now what I'm trying to do is build the most amazing editing experience on the web. So I have been working on this Zen mode. So you can see actually this is the article that I'm writing right now on Programmer Network. So I'm trying to build this Zen mode editor where fundamentally you get awesome editing experience. I built a new, maybe a day or two ago, I built a new add-on for a TipTap where you can now do these very cool highlights. So the idea is that we really provide the most awesome writing experience out there. So what I've done is a lot of that. Added image resizing to TipTap, added this extension that where you can like select the text and then, you know, annotate it, like I want to say cross off and whatever you want to use some color, right? And then you apply it and then it crosses it. So a lot of cool things for those who like to write. I came back to writing blogs last week, starting with this article. I don't know if you read it. So I'm gonna be writing a lot. So now I'm figuring out how do we build the most awesome writing experience on the web. And of course, that's our OKR. Are we gonna achieve that? I don't know. But the idea is that basically, yeah. Good evening, Max, my friend. So yeah, that's it. So tonight I actually wrote some ideas on our board. So I might actually continue refining the experience here. So what still sucks is these icons, they're different. I've actually grouped them into categories now in the editor, as you can see. So we have the headings here and stuff. So the only thing that sucks now is that now when you're writing an article, there's this details panel. So I've kind of moved that away. So the whole focus has to be, I call this component Z mode or Zen editor, sorry. So you can see like how do we make it so it's as absolutely how many daily authenticated users have in Programmer Network? Not many, man. Not many. I think weekly maybe 40 right now. I mean, we can check that, but not many. Not many. Again, this product is built in a live stream and I never reached out to anyone yet. So you can see this week, last 7 days, there were 15 users who logged in basically, right? And you can see we have 1,000 completely inactive users because keep in mind this platform has been built inside of the stream. I never reached out to anyone. I never sent any emails. So I'm not worried about these numbers per se because I also built this out of passion, but also because I know that once we round things up, I think platform is already starting to look amazing and feel amazing. These numbers will increase. So I don't actually care about these numbers now, to be very frank with you, because it doesn't change my motivation. I'm still motivated to do this in my free time. So 0 users or 1,000 users logging in weekly doesn't change my motivation. Of course, more people would use it. I would be more motivated, of course. but I would not be demotivated if actually no one ever logs in, right? I don't, that's not a metric necessarily that, yeah. Okay, today I wanted to do a couple of things. I have some very good ideas what I want to do, some very fun ones. I just feel moving away from this when it's almost super awesome, and like because you can see when the articles render, they also render these highlights and stuff. So that's very nice. I just feel maybe, yeah, I'm starting to really be proud of this almost, right? I think it's the writing experience is starting to look awesome. I just wish if I should continue on this stream, kind of working a bit more on this, especially like finding the icons for this because they look like crap. We also have a bubble menu now that TipTap provides. So, you know, and also this top menu is now sticky. So as you're writing, you don't need to go back, like scroll up to the toolbar again and stuff like that. We also have this character counter here in the bottom. So a lot of nice stuff in the context of the writing. And then I don't know if you guys saw, I imported my own, I don't know if you saw, some of you, but now you can import your PDF, your CV to Programmer Network. So you can see if I go to my profile here, I've imported my experience from LinkedIn. So basically there's this import resumes thing. So if you want to kind of share your experience, because I will eventually be inviting some recruiters to this platform, you can now do that. As you can see here in the feed, I said, you can just go to your profile experience, and for me it's locked because I only allow CV import once a week, as you can see. But then you can import your stuff and the AI is gonna handle the rest, so you don't have to worry about it. So there's also that. Yeah, so I've been working on some of these things offline and I enjoyed it. That's why I haven't streamed, because I just I have to still stream a bit to keep you guys interested, but I actually enjoy doing it off stream because it's 50 times more productive than streaming. All right, so what I'm actually gonna do now is I'm gonna use Google Workspace flows and try to use it intelligently for our own platform, right? What was it? Flows.google.com, because no. Yeah, I have this. Yeah, but wait, hopefully I have it on my account as well, because I do. Yeah, I do have it on my company account. I don't know if I have it here though on this account. Wait, give me a second. That would kind of suck. Where is it? Flows Workspace. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I thought I have, I have access at my work. Google Workspace admin. Okay, wait, I need to check that. Ah, man, that sucks ass, bro. Matty, my friend, hey, I really thought that I have access to workflows from Google. Google Workspace Flow. Because I have it at Dream Data at my work, and I thought I have access here on one of my accounts because I wanted us to build. A feature, right, for Programmer Network. Come on, no chance. I mean, are you kidding me that I don't have access? I must have access. I pay for all of these things. What? Google Workspace flows. Okay, so you can see I have. What the fuck? Where is it, bro? Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, so I don't have access. Man, that sucks ass. Workspace. Flows workspace.google. Yeah, so actually shit. Okay, never mind. Ah, that sucks ass, man. Okay, let me think a little bit more than what it is that we want to do today. Yeah, because I'm using them at work and they're pretty... basically, what I wanted us to build is a little bit of a news aggregator for the platform. So we can kind of have some sort of news on the front page. And I actually kind of was looking forward to that. But, yeah. Okay. And then I had this idea to provide some documentation, but I don't think that's important. Okay. The backlog isn't sorted. Okay, got it. Let me see, what is this? I created this in 2024. If I remember, this was like another tip-tap kind of a variation that I don't know if they're still maintaining this, but there were some features that I really liked here. No, yeah, exactly. They had these kind of drag and drop things, so this could for sure like improve the experience furthermore. Yeah, they also had this menu that I really liked, right? So you can invoke this command menu. Yeah, this is very handy, right? I really like this. And let's take a look about, yeah, okay. Right, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you just saw, you just joined, but you should go and check out, Matty, if you can log in. I've created, our writing experience now is getting a lot more awesome. I can actually show you some of the articles that I'm writing now. But I'm now focusing on making the most amazing editor on the internet, like the combination of it. So first and foremost for myself, because I'm writing the blogs, and then for you guys who decide to start writing. But you can see I call this Zen mode, and now we're gonna try to build something awesome. And I remember seeing this and I liked it a lot. I just don't want to be installing this in any way. And now when we have access to AI, I have a feeling that we could build some of this stuff relatively easy, I would say. Let me just kind of do a little bit of a... I just want to check, like, what is this doing? What did they do, just so we can get inspired. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. And actually, I'm gonna open source that. So that is that TipTap extension isn't yet released. So I think we're the first one doing this with TipTap. So I think I'm gonna open source that. Well, actually, it's already open sourced. I just didn't turn it into a npm package. Let me do a little bit of a research here before we decide what we do today. All right, let's kind of understand a little bit what this offers. So this offers Lil Saf. Hey, not much, just another stream. I think I haven't streamed in a week or so. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. That's very awesome of you. Okay, so let's figure out what it is that this has and that we don't have in our own, because I really want us to have the most awesome editing experience literally on the internet. Let's imagine that's our OKR, objective and key result, right? Are we gonna achieve? But I really like drag and drop. So let's see, let's get into the, so what can you drag? So you can drag individual. Okay, I like their design as well. Of the, we have that as well. We have our own bubble menu, so that's good. They can drag and drop these individual things. So let's see what it is that you can drag and drop. So you can't, it seems you can't, okay, that's a bit weird. Okay, so you can't drag an image. You can drag basically any textual element, right? This is like, these are checkboxes. We actually have those as well. I need to style them a little bit better. So that we have, this we have, so pretty much everything we have except the slash menu, right? And slash menu is like you're typing and then you want something. Okay, that, what happened there? I don't know. But you press slash and you're like, I want a bullet list. But is that really useful? Let's kind of try to discuss it a bit. So like this menu definitely kind of helps when you're starting, right? And you say, I want to write heading 1, right? But then as you're typing and then you press slash, is there really any component here that you would want to do? Because rarely anything is inline, and things which aren't inline are like things like bold and italic and stuff, right? So I mean, if you're typing and you press slash, if you press bullet point, I don't think this is a great UX, right? So I guess maybe we could implement something like this, but way smarter, right? I guess. Or we can try being a little bit more clever. So like, hey, if I utilize the menu at the beginning, we want to show like things that make sense. But then if we need some inline element and we do this, what, you know, something else could come in here. But what though, right? Yeah, but does it, right? Let me show you. If I do something like this, bear with me, like, hey, I want to write some code. My pleasure. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. So you can actually see here that this also doesn't make sense, because if you say code, it's going to turn into code whatever you wrote already. So you could say this could make sense if you said, you know, const foo and then immediately invoked function. No, if we wrote an iffy or function expression and we say 5, right? Then if I do code, it's going to turn that into code, right? So basically, I'm just trying to figure out the value of this, and there is a value. Like for example, right now in our editor as well, if we go to production, to programming network, or local, doesn't matter. Let's actually do it locally. I don't want to mess my article in production. But if we go to our own, and I press hash, we support Markdown, right? So we already kind of have that. If I do 3 of them, it's going to be, you know, heading 3. If you don't trust me, you can see here it says H3. So we can also kind of do that, right? But you could say that the value could be, if I also do the slash, you know, some people don't know Markdown, they're not like so experienced at it. We could also say if I do a slash, then it could also give us this menu, right? So essentially the only thing we don't have from this is drag and drop, basically sorting, reordering, putting things in different places. I like it a lot. I think we should have that. We have code highlighting, as we can actually see in my actual article, right? So the only thing really we're missing, and then there's some AI features here, which you could say, okay, let's see what is that. Let's analyze it. So this is some text, and then if I highlight it, ask AI. Ah, wow, okay. Okay, so I see what's happening here. Interesting. Would you guys appreciate this? So like, you would use that a lot. Fuck, okay, that's, I'm not that fluent, you know. Okay, let's test, okay? So we do this. So you see, let me tell you one thing. Hear me out, Max and Cedric, right? So the reason why I wish that programmer network one day becomes a thing is that I believe that a lot of people will quit existing platforms because of AI. So when you go to LinkedIn today, it's all bots and all AI generated articles. When you go to Twitter, when you go to Facebook, right? Now this is a little trap. It's finding the balance, right? How do you build a platform that incentivizes people to not do something while not taking away tools from them? So for example, let's imagine we can probably implement this during this stream. And it's fine, right? It's just like, how do we convey to people that, hey, it's fine that you fail. It's fine that you sound like yourself. No matter how you sound, I bet on the fact that people will crave for reading things written by people, right? So it's like, if I write, I wrote my own thoughts in here, and then somebody comes here and says, fix this, right? I mean, what does it even mean, fix? Fix grammar for sure. Okay, I have an idea. So what if we just provide fixed grammar, but what I do in the backend, I provide an actual hard-coded prompt that you cannot alter. So we just say, like, our actual prompt to the AI in the backend would be like, do not change this text at all. Just ensure that user, said then and then, right? Not food to food, right? I agree, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me just think. Okay, so let's basically go here and let's define what we said. So this is what we want to try and do today with AI, and then review and stuff like that. So let's see here. So what we want is introduce a slash menu in our tip tab, our tip tab. Introduce drag and drop of as many elements as possible. Introduce an AI feature for fixing grammatical errors. You see, like grammatical, I'm missing an M, but not more. Thank you guys for your follows. I appreciate it very much. Is there something else they have that we don't have? So, ooh, nice. Nice. How come I missed this? How come we don't have this? Changing the color of the text. I like that so much. Okay, let's do that as well. Wow, that is cool, man. Wow. Okay. Okay, so let's kind of steal a bit of ideas. It's not that they invented this, right? Add color, introduce text color picker. Okay, I'll just update this so we don't lose the work. And let's kind of do a bit of screenshots, because we will be implementing this with AI, of course, and then reviewing the crap out of it and improving it. So let's take a look at this, because more of the context we give to the AI, the better. So we'll kind of give it all of this. What else did we say that they have here? A drag and drop, basically, yeah. AI auto-completion, okay. Okay. All right, cool. I think, and then they have the mathematical notation, but I think we have a LaTeX already. I think we have the mathematical notation already, but let's see. Okay, let's say that this is our goal for this stream, and if we do more, great. If we don't, still great. We're gonna chat and have fun. and learn something new and improve our product gradually, incrementally, as always. So I'm really starting to love our experience. I think a couple of days or weeks, it's going to be amazing place to write things. We've added this new component. I still have to kind of sit off stream and improve. These icons are terrible size. We need better icons. I need to improve this menu here, but I'm actually starting to become very happy about it. All right, cool. All right, so now it's the time that we write a spec, right? So let's write the spec here, aka spec-driven development, as is the future of programming, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to think. So let's define this guy here. Okay, we would like to introduce a / menu inside of our TipTap editor, inspired by novel sh. As shown on the screenshot, it's the menu that gets triggered when a user types / within the editor and when there is no spacing between it. Essentially, it's crucial that it doesn't spawn during the times when a user actually wants a /, but we know some rules already, etc. Example, sentences will never start with / etc. We will have to discuss this. The menu that's spawned should more or less show almost identical nav toolbar as we have, with the logical exceptions showing bold, italic, and or any marks makes no sense, because you can only apply those to the things which are highlighted. The menu should use our own in-house built dropdown from our own Yale library that is built on top, tippy.js, etc. Is there anything else we're missing? Okay, let's grab this and let's start there. I'll update this. So we'll open up our cursor. We'll okay. So we'll start a new agent here. We'll kind of give it this. We'll give it a reference to our TipTap. So if I go in the core library of our own programming network core library, we're going to go to inputs and we're going to give it a reference to the TipTap folder. This is where our thing is. And then what we're going to, of course, need to do, and we're going to do it task by task. It's very imperative that we focus on one thing at a time and that we don't try to do too many things at once, because that's when AI starts sucking big time. And of course, let's discuss this in detail up until where you are almost certain to be able to complete the task. Let's focus on the things that I haven't asked, aka almost reverse engineering, and check what the issues with such menu could be, etc. in the context of UX. All right, I think that's enough. I gave it a lot of context. Let's now go back and forth, and then we implement, then we review, we improve the code ourselves, etc. I don't think it's gonna fail. I think AI is absolutely incredible. I mean, for example, I wrote this thing that I'm gonna open source as part of Yale. Let me show it to you. It's right here. It's called a rough annotation. So I literally wrote this rough annotation utilizing reactjs. So I did it with AI. Actually, sorry, it's not reactjs. It is. I need to actually check. It was. Wait, these are dev dependencies. Where are our actual dependencies? So if we take a look at that, it is rough notation. So we built TipTap extension on top of this. What is happening? Why is it not? Am I not copying that? No. Okay. So I basically built the TipTap library on top of rough. So you see this stuff that's coming that we have is coming from there. And essentially, I wrote it in one evening. The code is absolutely amazing. Of course, I had to go back and forth, improve the code and stuff. But this is the entire extension, essentially, a TipTap extension, right? So it stores it in a TipTap editor config state, blah, 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 blah. So it's absolutely amazing. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to build another TipTap extension now. That's going to be this context menu, right? Yeah, I really like it. I really liked how this turned out. It was super nice, super nice. The only thing I still dislike in our implementation is this little, this is just a visual thing, but yeah, we need to kind of, some of these drop downs of ours, we need to now, in the context of the editor, we need to add some shadows or something so they're not blended so much into the content you can barely see them. These buttons suck. Maybe we can use icons, but that is just a front-facing thing. The functionality is there for the most part. There's some exceptions where it doesn't work great, but I'll fix that. Actually, I'm just gonna go and give this thing a star because it's an amazing thing. Wow, it hasn't been updated in 5 years and it actually doesn't matter. I wonder whatsoever how easily can we introduce our own shapes here, because I would like a bit more tooling here. So we'll see, maybe one of the next streams we can implement some more shapes into this and contribute. Maybe do a pull request. It seems there are a bunch of pull requests that nobody really is looking at. Okay, let's go. Yeah, so this thing is kind of failing to start. Typically when that happens, what I do, I just reload a cursor and then I just try again and it actually works. So let's try that again. Yeah, I mean, I also have some of my libraries. They're like 10 years old, and I would expect them 100% to still work because they tackle certain things which are just like very fundamental to the language itself. So you know it's never gonna change. So I mean, when you look at some of these libraries, like this is gonna work forever because this is probably using like D3 or some Canvas API, and these things are very well established in the browser. So I would expect this library, for example, if it doesn't get updated in 30 years, it would still work, right? Because it's not really based on like these APIs are never going to be not be backwards compatible because they are just Canvas. This is, you can see this is 9 kilobytes gzipped, which you could say, yeah, is fine. Okay, alrighty. So now we're starting with this, and let's see where it takes us. I'm more interested into specification and understanding the limitations and things that we didn't think about. Okay, let's try to logically think as a community here together. Let's try to answer these questions. When should a slash menu trigger? Pick all that apply. At the start of an empty line? Yes, for sure. After any white space tab new line? But does that make sense? That is the question, right? Let's think logically. This is not about technicalities. Does it make sense for this thing to ever work except at the start of the line? Like, can anybody here counter argument as like, when would you want this to spawn here? Because this is the only time when maybe I'm writing a heading and I want to change it. Now I can do this and turn it into text, right? It's just like, will people do that? I wonder. Like, will you ever do this and turn this into a bullet point like this? I guess so, maybe, but I guess most people would say bullet point and then start, right? I just somehow have a feeling that it's so less likely that you're gonna like write some plain text and that you will then trigger the menu. Like do this and then make it a bullet point or make it a heading. It's kind of reverse way of working, right? I mean, if you want a heading, you can either do it like this, or I guess most normal people would be like, yeah, I want a heading, so I'm gonna start like this and then start typing, right? So I'm genuinely trying to find a use case where and when would this thing be useful in this context. I would go as far and say it would be quite annoying, actually, even. I would say that there's more chance that this gets annoying than useful in this context, right? To the defense of the system, though, this only spawns if there's if the slash is in the empty space, right? I don't know. Let's implement it both. Okay, when the user dismisses the menu, what should happen to the typed slash? Let's try to do it in the same way as these guys. Okay? Keep it because the user... Should the menu filter items as the user types? Yes. For the image in YouTube items, what should happen when selected? Open the existing modal. Ah, that's a good question. Crap. Yeah, that's a very good question. That's a very good question. Like, if we do the image here, it should open the image modal. Yes, and that's what it does there. Okay. You see, man, it's asking such good questions. It's insane. Yes, okay. Ha, such a good reasoning. It's crazy, man. It asked literally the questions that I forgot to ask, and this is why it's so useful. Should slash menu be disabled inside code block? Yes, it should, right? I'm in a code block now, and let's say I want to write a comment in JavaScript, a single line comment that's 2 slashes. Yes, it would not make sense. Yes. Which item group should appear in the slash menu? Typography, list, block elements. Yeah. Yeah. Should link appear in... Links typically require selected text. Nah, no. Let's make a rule. We need to be very systematic here. So anything that requires highlighting, right? Yeah. Maduro, hey buddy. Oh, I didn't know that you're streaming, man. That's great. How do I do it? Shout out, right? Thank you very much. That's great. Let's go. Did I do it? Nice, nice, nice. What's up? Good evening, everybody. How are you guys doing? What up here? No, it's not PHP. It is Fastify and stuff. This stream is about this platform, basically. So we're doing a lot of but I see that's a Laravel crew, so that's great. I used to write PHP almost 2 decades ago, PHP 3 I remember, and then I wrote Laravel maybe 10 years ago as a consultant when I worked in Sweden. But that's what saved PHP, you could say. I would say Laravel saved PHP in a way. Okay, let's kind of proceed with this. PHP will never die. No, it will not. And it has no reason to die. PHP scaled horizontally really well. And I would say that the main thing that could have killed PHP were its globals, right? Super globals or whatever. But Laravel has solved that properly. So yeah, PHP cannot die. I think WordPress still owns like 70% of the internet, right? So I don't think that's something. I mean, it wasn't Facebook running on Hecklang, right? Which is also PHP. At least some of their microservices used to run. I don't know if that's still the case. But PHP scales really well, and due to that, it doesn't have to die. There's no reason for it to ever die, right? Okay, let's start reviewing this stuff, because that's the most critical thing. Okay, so I/menu item, correct ID, label, description, icon, keywords, good, agreed. /menu group, agreed. Yes. We're gonna have a reference there, sure. I/menu extension options, toolbar items, very good, so it's making it extensible, so the menu can be different based on the context where it's used. Okay, great, that's good. Let's keep reviewing more. Useless comments. Useless comment. /menu items. Okay, so it's basically, we'll probably, no, this is probably not going to remain there, but we'll see over time. I have a better idea for this. We can kind of reuse our existing thing. List groups. Yeah, I don't care about these comments, even though I appreciate the AI trying to be useful, but Dotto, good evening, buddy. It's going really well. It's going really well. My wife and kids, both kids are into bed now, and I've been at work, and now I haven't streamed in maybe a week or so, and then I'm here with you guys now. What about you, man? Okay, so it's manually casting stuff. We don't allow that, so that's not gonna go. Let's actually so that's not gonna work for us. This line of code is not going to work. Nah, that's not good. Okay, that is not good. We don't allow that. And this is the actual /menu implementation. This is the plugin itself. Very good, it's using scroll into view API. Okay, I respect that. Even though I would not write it like that, I would say if there's no elements, return. So we should always earlier return, right? Also useless comments as always. Good to hear, going well. Very good to hear, man, as well. Where can I go to get my first job? That's impossible question to ask, my friend. How can you ask that? How do I know where can you go to get your job, man? Finding a job for every human on this planet is no exception, right? You have to do what everybody else does. Keep applying, keep improving, and just get lucky at one point, right? LinkedIn as a platform is probably the best place for that. But nobody can answer your question, where can I find my first job, right? That's impossible. Oof. Yeah, so this code is going to be, this code we need to understand really well. So we're going to have to spend a bit of time with this. I started working full-time in 2007, and industry, back then I worked as a Cisco engineer, and back then industry was very different, and interviewing was very different, and today things are very different as well. Like with every decade something is different, right? But one thing is always constant, and that is learning how to interview, and trying and failing and learning out of every interview. That's always has been a constant. People have been going through hundreds of interviews 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They also go through that today. So I would say the rules are always pretty simple. You just have to, of course, get lucky, and you also just have to keep your head up. Understand it's not personal. It's all just a matter of, you know, many things, luck and right timing, but you just have to keep on trying. There's really no playbook there. There's really no playbook there at all. It's always just how it is. Yeah. What? Okay. No, why did it do that, man? Yeah, that, okay, it failed there, fine. It's okay, it's okay. That's not correct, but it's okay. I respect it still. What? Yeah, that is not cool, man. That is absolutely not cool, but okay. All right, no, it's okay, it's okay, it's fine. Why do I have to type this? I mean, I built this whole library myself. How did I build this shit? I don't remember. Wait, let's import that. How did I build this? Exactly. Then there's a name that we require because of this, right? Yes. Yeah, exactly. So our onChange fires the actual target name and the values. Okay, that's correct. No, come on, man. Don't be lazy, bro. Ah, dude, come on. Are you kidding me? Okay, and then okay, I mean, I get what I did. So we're gonna say if no YouTube URL, return, otherwise do this. It's fine. It's just a bit silly. What the hell, man? Come on. Bro. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so let's now go back to... Let's go back to AI. Stop it, man. Jesus Christ, man. Just stop it. Okay. So AI kind of went a bit, lost his mind there a little bit. It's fine. I don't judge it. It's okay. We all can lose our minds sometimes. I can as well. And let's just yeah. So let's fix some of these things. AI is way quicker than I am for some of them. Not for all of them, though. Bounty, my friend, hey. I would say that if you don't know someone, if you're not meeting people, if you're not impressing people, if you're not joining meetups, groups, good morning, Bounty, my friend. So if you're not doing these things, it's going to be very tough. That's why I say to people when they sign up on our platform, Programmer Network, when they go to LinkedIn, when they go to these things, if you underestimate the power of networking, you're going to suffer a lot, right? So I would say, wow, it actually already works. What the hell, man? Absolutely incredible. And if you tell me that AI is not incredible, like, you're definitely doing something wrong. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, dude, it would have taken me, if I didn't do this, probably 3 to 5 hours to properly implement this. And I'm very good at this, I would say. So a junior developer might have worked on this a week or two without AI. Easily a week or two, right? So I would say, Jesus Christ, man. So good. Absolutely so good. We have some tiny things to do, as you can see. It doesn't have max height and stuff like that, so we're gonna fix that. Wow, dude. Absolutely wow. Like, it chose the right icons as well. If this is not absolutely mind-blowing, I don't know what is. Absolutely incredible. Now our job is to review it, ensure that AI didn't hallucinate too much, and etc., right? And generate some tests. So yeah, we have some sanity. We can go to bed without feeling it's gonna break. It's fascinating, man. I feel so empowered because I know system design. I've been doing this more than half of my life, this job, and now I can just architect things. And of course, we also have to write code so we don't become lazy, for sure. But absolutely incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. Like, come on, man. Come on, dude. Are you kidding me? And it does literally what that demo that we looked at does, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. Absolutely crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. Crazy stuff. Banana time. Yeah. Yeah, actually that didn't work. Okay. That actually didn't work. If it fails one more time, we're gonna fix it, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I would be a massive piece of crap to complain. I'm so happy. Absolutely incredible. Ah, come on, bro. It even built this crappy model. I don't know, Mike. I would go as far and I say, I mean, what does the simple mean, right? Like if you have been writing code long enough, and I can see that you have, all code is simple or complex depending how you write it, right? So a code base out of millions lines of code is still composed, hopefully, of reusable functions, modules, encapsulation, patterns, and stuff like that, right? So I mean, all code is either super simple or super complex, depending how you look at it, right? So for example, this menu that we just built, you could say it is a part of a highly complex editor, right? That has a lot of functionalities. But that's not really how we evaluate complexity in a sense. I mean, I'm never gonna go to work and like I need to fix the whole complexity of things. You're always narrowing down things. So, hey, today we're gonna implement a slash menu. Tomorrow we're gonna write. So if you do these things properly, then I don't think that AI excels at simple things. I think it excels at exactly things that it's supposed to excel, which is building things as we build them. Like nobody goes to work one day and builds Linux kernel from zero, like from scratch in one day. That kernel has been built for 30 years. Nobody goes to work to build a Chromium runtime, right? So you could say that everything that exists, no matter its size, has been always built gradually. So it's not like, what are we expecting, that we're gonna ask AI to build a operating system in a single prompt? Of course not, right? Yeah. Okay, so okay. Yeah, I mean, this is absurd. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm so shocked that it did this that I don't know. It's almost absurd, man. It's almost absurd. It is absolutely absurd, man. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Okay, now is the time to improve it, right? So let's see. All right, so okay. So this is where we say if the slash menu is enabled. I mean, that's not the greatest. Yeah, that's not the greatest check though, right? So we can say that this sucks ass, sure. But basically what AI said is like, hey, whenever there is an instance editor that actually has some toolbar items, consider to enable this, right? So basically, unless there's no extensions for a given TipTap instance, don't do it, right? Okay, fine. Let's now go into create slash menu extension. This is where we should start. And then this is the core code from the extension. This is the API from ProseMirror from TipTap. So I would expect React render, extension, exactly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here is where we have to start. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's kind of do this just so we can focus. Let's close that. Okay. Okay, so we have some meta stuff here. So here we have a character that starts the actual menu. Then we have some rules here. So we have this allow that's part of the, I suppose, Pros Mirrors APIs for building extensions. So we have this allow method or function method in this context that injects the state, range, and editor. And then if you remember when we wrote this spec for the AI asked us, hey Alex, do you want the slash to be triggered inside of a code block? And I said no. So if we actually go ahead here and we say, no, that's a quote, code block, you see it's not triggered here because it makes no sense, because maybe I'm writing some, maybe I'm writing some JavaScript, right? And then I want to say this is a variable. So it would be silly if I press slash for it to render. Give me 1 second, I think we're missing music. Okay, cool. Then we are using this resolver, so we get the range from the editor. So this is a little bit low level stuff when you're building rich text editors using Pros Mirror API. Just note that TipTap is based on this Pros Mirror API. So this is an API for building rich text editors. So these underlying APIs come from the Pros Mirror, not from the TipTap. TipTap is just abstraction over that. So this is basically a way to say, hey, get the range, get a starting point on my cursor. Where is it? Is it at this? So, and we're saying allow the start of the document if the range from is 1, return true. Get the character before the slash, right? And this is very interesting. So I can see what is it doing here is saying, well, you know, if, because that's the rule we decided on, like slash is triggered if it's at the start or if it's after something, right? But if I do it here, it's not gonna do anything, right? So that's basically what this means. So we're trying to get what the text is to ensure that this kind of is instrumental to making this extension work. So this is what says, hey, we need to make sure that it's the white space, otherwise don't show it, right? Okay. Then this is going to be most likely the UI component itself that we are returning, right? So basically we're going to filter the items, we're going to return the items, whatever. So that's just a utility. Then we have the command, which is also the part of TipTap or Pros Mirrors API. And basically this is for executors reacting to certain commands. So amazing that AI managed to do this. So freaking amazing. Jesus Christ. Absolutely impressed. Absolutely impressed. Yeah. And then this is where the magic happens for the actual rendering. That's why it's called render. So this is the magic where that actually renders our React node, the synthetic, right? The whatever. So we created an instance of a render. We get it. I guess we get it the actual component exactly. So we're saying, hey, render. This is the component we want to render. These are the props. This is the editor itself, like a reference to the editor, to the current instance of the editor. And then we create a pop-up using the tippy.js. That's kind of, if we go here, right, we depend, that's wrong library, wrong project. So if we go tippy, you can see we're using tippy.js, and this guy is a very clever library for positioning things, right? And if you have ever done positioning in plain JavaScript, it's hard. You have to use you have to calculate the offsets, there's many things when it comes to calculating where an item can appear relative to the remaining space on the screen. So if the element is touching the top bounds or left bounds or right bounds, right? So this library is amazing, and it's kind of sad that JavaScript browser doesn't support something that deals with this. So this thing actually enables us to wrap any of our components, such as our dropdowns, so you know they appear on the correct side of the screen depending on the available space, right? Funny how the complexity of that menu is mainly caused by the complexity imposed by the customers. So of course, I mean, the clever things require infinite. Good evening, buddy. So I would say that yes, that's what our job is, right? And that's why building good products, amazing products, it's hard, right? Because you have to go beyond the regular to provide users with something awesome, right? I wouldn't say that this is complex per se. I think this is a very good code. And the reason why I call this code a very good code is that it's very systematic, right? So there's absolutely nothing about this extension that differs from any other like native TipTap extension, for example. So we have very systematic thing. We have the allowed method, right? So a function that returns a boolean to indicate if the suggestion should be active. We have the command, which reacts to our commands, right? And then we have the render, where the rendering is defined as well. So you could say like, we have on update and key down, right? So you can see this is incredibly systematic. So for example, if a key binding doesn't work, you're gonna come here and say, why when I press escape? So why when I do this and press escape, nothing happens? You know systematically that's gonna happen here. Same with the updating, same with positioning, right? So I would say code that's systematic. That's why frameworks and libraries and patterns matter, because they are the aggregation of common knowledge amongst software crafters, right? Without us adhering to these principles and like, oh, why do we need frameworks? Let's just do things on our own. The world would not function. No company on this earth would survive 3 days if all of us built our own tools, right? So that's why when I just spoke, for example, in this very context about Prose Mirror and then TipTap as well, it's like Prose Mirror in the web world, you could say, is a standard for building rich text editor solutions, right? So if you ever decide even in your company to build this solution yourself, if you adhere to their API, at the very least, you're going to protect yourself from rebuilding the core low-level under quotes API, because that's absurd, right? So you can see if you go to the documentation here, you go into like, for instance, reference manual, I guess. This is a massively documented API, right? I make very good, exactly. But you see, like, so you want to adhere to some standards, because without standards, only you and 3 other people in your company know what the hell you're doing, right? So that is why it's so important, right? Let me just run Storybook very quickly, so we can see what the hell is going on. What? Okay, that's a bit weird. Never seen that before. Let's go to TipTap /menu. Beautiful. Okay, we actually forgot to register some extensions. So let me just tell the AI to do that for us very quickly. In our /menu storybook, you most likely forgot to register some extensions. Okay, so anyway, going back to the code, I really like it. What I do dislike is that we are manually casting to the reference client React. I don't know why we do that. Is that even necessary? And if it is, why? Okay, let me at least ask AI why. Like, yeah, I hate manual casting. I typically don't allow that because it's an absolutely disgusting pattern, and it should not be there. Okay, so it should render now, and yeah. Okay, good. Okay, let's now just go back a bit and chat with this fella. Let's discuss manual casting in here. As you might have noticed in our agents, manual casting is strictly forbidden. So let's ensure that there's no other way to not cast and properly write the code to avoid the code smell. I absolutely can. And this is a correct solution, right? This is a correct solution, right? Okay, so let me show you why, Max. So imagine that I think this is a very great example, even though this code is a little bit cryptic because this is not like a standard code, this is tip-tap and stuff. But you can see, for example, let's actually maybe discuss this very example and maybe it's gonna, so you can see the way that AI solved this without manually casting is actually it created a utility here. And it created this utility, right, that ensures that if there's no client rectangle created, that is going to use the default rect, which is here, right? So you can see it basically in theory and potentially practice, it saved us from exploding or introducing an error, because when you cast manually, you guarantee something to be true. So that's like saying, let me give you an example. I say function foo, I say function double, and then I say a, right? Let's imagine just a theoretical example. And then I say const number is a as number, okay? And then I can't like come up with perfect examples now, but then I do double banana, right? Well, I can't double the banana, right? But I'm now enforcing a type. I'm almost guaranteeing it, right? So in a sense, if you ever have to manually cast, that means that somewhere else, as it was an example here, you have a code smell. So somewhere you're not, it's the same with exclamation mark when you're doing things like something dot foo or whatever. You're saying, no, I guarantee the stability of this object, right? And you shouldn't guarantee ever for it. So to fix this, you have to say if no something or whatever, return. Well, actually that's a wrong question but you could say if no something, or you could say if something is whatever, null or whatever, some faulty value, right? Undefined or whatever, right? So when you cast something, you cheat basically, right? Because casting allows you to not need to guard yourself against stuff, and it breaks the defensive programming principle, because you should always assume the worst about your code. So no matter the function, you should always assume that it will fail at one point. So you want to try to safeguard against as many unknowns as possible. And this is again a great example. This creates save client rect. Because if this client rect was, let's say, for whatever reason not there, we would actually return the default one. Now, is this useful in this context? No, because this would suck ass, because this is still useless, because what this means, this would point this drop down to an x-axis. So if this in theory would happen when I press slash, this menu now would have appeared literally like just to open a screenshot. Where's my screenshot? So this menu would have literally appeared in an XY axis, which is, of course, that depends on if the element is absolutely positioned or fixed, and if it's inside of a relative container in CSS. But assuming the worst, my fix here would have moved this thing all the way somewhere to the top left, right? But I'm just trying to prove the point, right? That's literally correct, Max. Yes, that is correct. Yes. One question is there, when you change object value through object entries, it changes the value, but its original values change and copy value. One question is there when you... I'm just trying to sparse your sentence because you didn't use any commas and stuff, so I'm trying to figure out what you actually wrote. Let me read it. Because one question, comma, is... one question is there when you change... Okay. When you change an object value through object entries, it changes value, but its original value change. I'm sorry, man. I don't understand this. If you can just elaborate your question, I'm very happy to respond. Yeah, that's yeah. That's a bit hard to parse. I'm sorry, but very happy to respond. Just write it again. Okay, man. I think this is good. Is use query no longer needed after React introduced the new hook use? I'm not sure, Monster, which hook you're talking about. I don't follow too much these new releases, so I also don't use query. I just use still Axios, so I'm a still old-fashioned guy. But if you can send me what it is that React introduced, like React 19 hooks. What did they introduce? I don't know. Query. Yeah, if you could share with us, I'm very happy that we'll take a look at it together. I think in Acer, good evening, buddy. I think I spoke about this many years ago when I actively streamed. I think it's incredibly important that people think about data in a very critical and very constant way, right? I think that contracts are very important, right? So this is where I see a lot of code bases when I review them online fail, right? You have people that do these types of things. Let me show you. It's like interface person, username, string or undefined, right? React was a mistake. Okay, cool story, bro. If that's what you have to say, cool story, bro. Okay, let's see this. Right. So when you look at the interface, it looks like this, right? This is absolutely terrible, right? And this is the reason why so many code bases, right? Yeah, but people do this, right? So contracts have to be stable. So you have to know either if this you could say that this could be there or not, right? If it is there, it's a string. If it's not there, it's something else, right? But people do this, right? So now this thing is either a string, undefined, or null, right? Right? So all of the issues, majority of issues that I see in my career with developers is starting with bad contracts, right? So essentially, when you design your tables, all the software that we build is about data. We can agree. Programmer network, Facebook, Twitter, your video game, it all operates on data, right? And that data should be so stable as possible. So you want to think about it very deeply when you design it. When you model your data, when you model your database, you have to model it so it makes sense, because it cascades all the way down from to your API. So essentially, you have a database, you have your APIs, and then you have your UIs. If you fail on this layer, you will fail on every other layer. And code that you write here can be perfect. You can be a master genius programmer, but you will have to patch for the lack of this on every other layer, right? Whereas if you do a good job on the database layer, then that's gonna properly cascade to every other layer, and vice versa, right? So that's why when we design APIs, in most cases, in 99% of cases, with the exceptions of public APIs that have to be generic, you have to design them for the UIs. So if you're a backend developer, your job is literally how can I make UIs happy? How can I deliver data to the UI as perfect as possible? So how can I create contracts, interfaces? How can I provide this data so the consumer, right, has to do as little as possible? So this is why it's so important when you work in a cross-functional team where you have backend and you have front-end developers. Communication between these two teams really is instrumental to how well our code base is going to be, right? So just know that if you fail on the back end, you will fail everywhere, right? Is Llama 4 Maverick good for coding? To be very honest, and Gadi, I have no idea. I haven't tried that. Absolutely no idea. So again, never underestimate how much effect a poorly written API or set of APIs can affect. And I would not in Acer relate this too much to strictly type or not. Of course, strictly type like having some sort of types is definitely useful, but I don't think it has much to do with this, right? It's more to do with, as you saw, communication, but also understanding the implications of a poorly designed data, of a poorly designed contracts, of a poorly designed states, initial states, like state machines, UI states, backend states. If one day, if I call give me fruits from the API, and one day, let me give you another silly example. Fruits for me will either return a list of fruits or it will return no fruits. So it's going to return an empty array. What this isn't going to do for me, it's not going to return undefined or nothing. So this for me, and this is not like a written rule, it's more my own basic rule, right? If your API is returning a list, it should either return an empty list or a list of things. It shouldn't return null or undefined, meaning nothing, etc., right? So this is a great silly example of where you can fail. It's like UI now expects either a list or not a list. What does that mean for the UI? Now UI has to be like, if fruits, in JavaScript, like if fruits is a list, then do something, otherwise do something else. Why would a UI have to ask this question in the first place? If your API has returned an empty list, meaning the contract, the interface was stable, then here you would just say, fruits.map in your UI, and you don't care. If it's empty, well, it's empty, whatever, you will handle that somewhere, right? So that's kind of where it is. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hopefully that was fun. Exactly. So there's many these are fundamental things. To be very honest with you, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, backend developers were very good at this. They found or full stack developers, they found joy and pride in designing good interfaces so people can consume it. Today, you could say there's a lot of entry-level developers that are put in places where they don't belong because they're not experienced enough, they don't know well enough, and then you end up with these half-baked crappy solutions, right, that somebody has to patch and work around. And the worst of all is that people don't understand the implications of these decisions, right? Because you don't just shoot yourself in the knee, you shoot the rest of the 5 other teams in the knee, because now you fucked up a data scientist because your data model sucks, you fucked up the backend teams, and you fucked up your front-end teams as well, right? Because it cascades on all layers because you made stupid decisions on the API level, right? On the database level. Okay, going back to this, let's do a review. So we're gonna actually open up a new chat, or actually let's keep the same session. Let's now do a full review before we go to production. Also ensure to look at agents. I've got a small question. I'm currently busy doing a full stack project. We are currently going live and we see that got a lot of localhost links hard coded. What is smart to do this? Infinite, you should not, so it seems to me, Infinite, that you guys are not following some core principles, right? You should not be hard coding strings anywhere. So I would say this is, it doesn't matter if it's an env or not. Fundamentally, yes, it will always be an env, but you should not be hard coding things like that, right? So fundamentally, everything is going to be, so in simple words, you need to do a cleanup. You have to first store your constants in a different place. And then of course, so I can show you, give me 2 seconds. Let me merge this. I want to finish this and then we can discuss that. I'm very happy to, yeah. I'm very happy to discuss that. I can show you also the code that I write and how I write it. And then I think it's going to be clear to you what it is that you have to do. Let me just make sure. Thank you very much, guys, for your follows. Appreciate it very much. Let me just review this a couple of times, merge it, and then we move on to the other task. One good thing to take away from today's stream, just FYI, is when you complete a task with AI, of course, you have to do your own due diligence to review it yourself, but literally run it through a couple of reviews again. It's actually quite fascinating, but if I review now and review one more time, it's going to find more things, right? So I would say just give it a good nudge. Just give it a good... Okay, I already see where it failed, like it's not using custom hooks. Simpler, Plaren, give me 2 seconds. Very good question, very good question. Okay, wait, I just need to give it, it's wrong. But you are not done. Clearly, look at agents. Agents basically MDs my root rules for the how I write code. You have states not in custom hooks, etc. Okay, what if we have this? Let's just read that. Okay, so let's take a look at this interface, right? So, of course, as always, we have to always leave space for exceptions, right? So fundamentally, no rule rarely ever is absolute, right? So rarely ever anything in life is yes or no, except that, right? But I would say, not having the context, I would say that this is wrong, yes. Let me just read the context. Because it returns the field based on with include param, and it could be null because it's optional. Well, why null? I mean, what is the so if we take a look at data structures, right, in this context, data types, there's clearly a huge difference between these types in the context of value. Undefined is absence of value, and null is an actual value, right? So why do you need null at all, right? This interface now exactly does the same as this one, considering most likely that you're actually not using this for anything if it's either null or undefined. So the question is, why would this be null at all? Like, if I assume you're using Prism.js or something, and this is maybe part of some sort of left join or something, and sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't, or whatever, right? Or any other ORM. So if it's not there, why do you need a third type? Because this is quite a binary type of expression, you could say. It's either there or not, right? So like, you know, parent is either, you know, I have a parent or not. The question that you're asking now is like, I have a parent or not, or I do have it and it's null, right? So the current interface you sent is this. I have a parent or not, or I do have it, but it's null. Well, you don't have it. If it's null, you don't have it. So why have null here in the first place, right? What does it solve per se? Or if your ORM for whatever reason returns null, if you don't do some sort of join or whatever, then why do you need undefined, right? Like you have enabled for two possible faulty values, right? Both null and undefined are equally falsy, right? Well, Boo-Boo, I would say you don't need undefined. Like this is what I don't get. Why do you need a question mark, right? I think it's the same comment. Username, string or null. Yeah, this is correct. Why do you need that? Because this question mark is the same syntax-wise as you would say undefined, right? So why a conditional operator, right? Why are we saying that this is also undefined? No, we agree on that, Plarian. We agree. I'm asking, why do you have 3 potential types? Why not 2, right? Because I assume that the parent, again, there is also a logical conclusion here for the 3, assuming that if you try to join, if you try to do a left join, maybe parent actually doesn't exist, hence it's null, right? If that is the case, then you could say that this makes sense. But is that the case? Do you ever do a join and it's not there? Highly unlikely, I suppose, right? So of course there's a little bit of context that I'm missing here, but I'm just saying null and undefined both yield the same result for the consumer, meaning the value is not there either way. Or to say, to be more accurate in the context of programming, just because the null is a value and undefined isn't, it's an absence of value, doesn't really mean that you will use one or the other for anything. You're gonna, use case is gonna, you will still be like, if no user.person, you know, return or whatever, throw or whatever you do here, right? So it doesn't matter if it's null or undefined, this is gonna yield a falsy value, right? So that's my point. Okay, cool. Sidebar hooks, yes. Yeah, okay, the last thing and then this task is done. You left the types in here. And then I'm gonna just do a So I would say so Plaren, that's perfectly fine. I would say focus more, always focus on usability and logic, and then walk backwards to details, right? This is I'm not getting into what can we technically do, right? I would say, because it's easier for us to lead this discussion, like forget about technicalities at all, right? Just forget about that null exists, undefined exists, right? They could have been called banana and car, right? It's completely irrelevant. The point is, you have to be able to answer a question: why does this interface yield two falsy values? This is my core question. So you, for yours, not for me, I'm not like interrogating you. I'm saying you have to be able to answer, why is my person field in this table yielding undefined, null, or whatever. So you have to, so I think it's going to be way easier for you to then walk backwards to details and say, actually, it makes no sense. Why am I doing this, right? So you're now giving me more of a theoretical response, what you can't and can't do, but that's not the reason why you've done it, right? Obviously. So, and you will never return undefined anyway. That's true. You can't respond with a value called undefined, because again, undefined in JavaScript means absence of value, and null is a value. So yes, and that's exactly my point. My point isn't, it's like, why do you then have undefined at all? Then your that specific interface should either be null or a string or whatever it is, right? Maya, good evening. Thank you very much for coming. So that is my main point, right? Don't worry too much about technicalities. You know, sometimes we all, senior, junior, tech leads, whatever, we get very caught up into technicalities that we actually forget just to be like logical. It's like, actually, you know, Alex is asking me, why do I have this like this? Like, and then you can walk backwards and say, maybe there is a reason, right? But you want to simplify the interface for yourself, because as you saw, they will cascade to all other places. Because now when you consume that data in your mobile app, in your desktop app, in your smartwatch app, you also have to account, crap, I'm just reading this interface in my backend. It can be null and undefined and this and that. So now I have to write these if statements. Whereas if you confine it to the minimal amount of potential data types, then you have to check for way less things on underlying layers that consume it, right? So that's why you want to do it. Okay, very good. I mean, honestly, I'm ready that we merge this. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah. To do, okay. Actually, while we are here, our to-do kind of stuff sucks ass. So let's kind of improve that a little bit. Let's improve our tip tabs to-do extension, more specifically, more specifically use our own checkbox. Make sure that checkbox is in line with the text, etc. And then we can merge. Keyboard, shit. I don't know what the keyboard is. Give me a second. What is it? It says ajs on it. But I have sometimes I stream with one keyboard, sometimes with another. Oh fuck! They removed mine. So it's this keyboard, but it's not this color. It's a white color. Shit, that kind of sucks. It's white and purple, mine. But they don't have it. But I guess it's the same keyboard. It's just yeah. All right, going back to this bad boy here. My pleasure. All right, let's proceed with this, review it, and then what did we write today that we want to achieve inside of this stream? I'm so happy about this, man. Well done, the stream. So we have achieved this. You know, to be honest with you, keyboard is, do you have a 10 euros keyboard or 300? I've spent hundreds of dollars, euros on keyboards. I have so many, and I have 2 kids now, and I'm just ashamed. Sometimes they want me to buy them a toy, and I'm like, you're not getting another toy. And then I'm like, shit, I spent like $1,500 in my life on keyboards. It's almost like, it's very depressing. If they only if they knew, only if they knew. I mean, my smallest one is 4 months old only, so he will not know for a long time. But the older one is almost 7 years old, so shit. It's yeah. I don't know how to clip things, but I don't know. I'm not very good at this Twitch thing. I don't think I ever used numpad in my life. Oh, nobody signed up this stream. Come on, guys, don't be lazy. Go and sign up, seriously. Seriously, go sign up. I never used numpad in my life, no. Never used numpad, never found a use case for it. I think now it's just shrink 0, yeah. Tailwind 4 kinda did that exactly. Interesting. Okay, okay, interesting. I agree so far. Cool, cool. I like it. Okay, it nuked this stuff, which was wrong anyway. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Thank you. I would really appreciate, guys, if you can sign up. And over time, I promise you, this is going to be most amazing platform for programmers. I'm absolutely confident. So at the very least, if you don't find a use case to use it now, I get that. But, you know, book your slug or whatever, because I'm sure at one point in time you will use it. What happened here? Wow, okay. All right, so AI has farted out a bit here. Something's wrong. Text is not written next to the checkbox. ASP.NET. I love ASP.NET. I love C#. I love the whole ecosystem that Microsoft has made. I really wish I kind of go back at one point. Maybe even if I have more time to stream, we do some ASP.NET. I think I do believe that's probably the most complete. That's probably the most complete ecosystem for programmers ever created in history. I think it's absolutely fascinating. Andy, good evening, my friend. Okay, so this is an issue. I see. Sign up as well. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. That is awesome. If you get a chance every now and then, just write something, say hi, at least in the thoughts. We have that feed, as you see, so you can just say, hey, share a photo, share what you're doing. You don't have to write articles or courses or organize meetups, but you know, if you're gonna watch the stream every now and then when I'm streaming, no, there's multiple lists. There's a to-do list, there's a bullet point list, there's ordered list, right? So no, we have 3 different lists, right? Like you can see, we have bullet list, numbered list, and the task list. We actually have to improve that massively. But yeah, so no, not really. But very good. No, please, any suggestions and comments are welcome, man. That's why at the end of the day, I'm actually here. Something's deeply wrong here. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. There's still some issue here. Oh, what? Just bear with me here. Yeah, I see. Okay, so I think basically what this guy did is just completely and fundamentally wrong. Yeah, let's kind of try to fix it with AI, otherwise we need to deep dive ourselves. Hopefully not. I mean, so far it has done so amazing, so it'd kind of be completely silly to fail with this. For fun, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, we have our own mini data center. I don't know if you know, but I wrote this guide. So everything that our programmer networking stuff is all hosted on our own servers, on my own. So this is, I don't know if you've been here around, but yeah, take a look at I call it mini data center here at home. Okay, so it's kinda, yeah. What's your take on Ubiquiti and Unify OS? So, to be very honest with you, Uro, I started working as Cisco engineer in 2007 and as MikroTik engineer. So I never really worked with these so-called... Okay, first and foremost, I think the hardware that you mentioned is amazing. We use it at a company where I work, so in that sense, it's great. I whatsoever think it's too high level for me. I think it's very limiting, so I do prefer Cisco, I do prefer MikroTik, but I wrote the reasons why in this guide that I shared, that link. I would say that if you're not great at computer networks and networking, definitely use that you suggested. If you want more fine, like for example, like if I show you my own router and my switches here, they're highly complex in a sense that you need to know a lot about networking. So I have, because this internet from which I'm streaming is also hosting all of my services and servers from here. I had to do a lot of firewall work. I had to do a lot of things. I had to write scripts on this device, etc., etc., etc. I tried to a good portion to talk about that here. So I have this section, why MikroTik, and you will notice here maybe 15 years ago I have these videos. This is me, what was 15 years ago, 2010. This is me kind of when I had long hair, creating a router board box that we eventually installed on top of the building somewhere. But the point is, this is low level for most people, right? So that depends what it is that you want to do. As you can see here at home, I have a couple of VLANs, and my Kubernetes, my server that's right here next to me, is on this VLAN here. So, but short story, yes, that's great equipment. It really boils down to what your expectations are, right? If you don't want to mess much with networking, you want things out of the box, I think it's amazing. But if you want low-level, fine-grained details that I had to do here, then so this is kind of the fundamental difference. Like I think Cedric said it really well. If you want to become good at networking, you want to attend CCNA, CCNP, CCNE, whatever, then you need to have the equipment that's capable of doing what it needs to do, right? If you don't want that, then of course you go with I know 12 programming languages. Good for you, man. Cool. Or should I say cool story, bro? It's really cool one. I like it. Yeah, that kind of sucks, man. That kind of sucks. All right, it's actually quite fascinating that it doesn't work. That's almost absurd. Wait, give me a second. Okay, here it is. My pleasure, man. Likewise. Thank you very much for the chat as well, dude. Absolutely. I think we're almost done with this now as well. It's just there's something a little bit off here. Yeah, that is better. Okay, that is better for sure. Nice, man. Okay, cool. Very nice. Okay. Okay, let's do a final review of this. I see, okay. All right, we're gonna merge this now. How did you jump from networking to web development? I mean, I was never just a Cisco engineer. I used to write C and C++ and many other languages many years ago. I started with Pascal. But being a network engineer is a very static and very static job, right? So the career progression in that level of engineering is very slow and very painful. So I don't think that I've ever transitioned. I just focused on it more. I was building websites and apps 20 years ago as well. It's just that that wasn't my primary preoccupation. I used to work on freelance.com and freelancer.com back then. But then I realized it was very clear to me that the browser as it is today is going to become the biggest runtime by far, meaning most people will be using the browser. So it was a career decision. I just figured that, hey, building web apps is simply something that's going to yield the most amount of jobs. And, you know, I was right. And that is still true today by a massive margin of things, right? So I'm very happy that I've done what I've done. As being a network engineer is, yeah, there's very, very little space there for progression in a sense of promotions and etc., right? So one thing that I'm noticing that it's really, really bad is that, and we definitely need, one thing that I'm noticing is the absence of our cursor, and that is worrying. So you can see actually, so if, wait, so that's correct. Let's say bullet list, cool story. Bro, 12 languages is a beautiful languages number. Great, cool. And then task. All right. That I did not do. That I did not do. So it must be a CSS issue in this context, I suppose, right? Caret color, it might be matching the background. Let me add explicit caret styling. Nah, that makes no sense, I think. Okay, let's fix it. Serio, hey buddy, thank you for coming. Okay, I mean, yes, we will finish this one now, but I have some more ideas for this specific component. because maybe we can wrap it under some tasks thing or whatever. I don't know if you remember me from the Fluxac, the code. Yeah, the thing that I told you to target like a different persona than me, right? I think you're that guy, if I recall. This we will also do, that's very nice. I'm sorry, I need to... Alright, you know what? Let's just stop that. And I will deploy this. Very good, man. I'm very happy to hear that. That's always my goal. Thank you for sharing it, man. That's awesome. That having an ability to take feedback and to reflect and stuff is probably one of the most important skills in life, so well done, man. Let me just review a couple of things because AI has kind of failed with that. I see that. Also, I thought that long ago I already built a YouTube video. I mean, I could in theory. Let's do that and then let's deploy. Tip-tap stories, yes. Extensions. Config, yes, cool. Slash menu, sure. Sirio, yes, probably not now, my friend, but I keep streaming every couple of days. I come back, so maybe next time when the stream starts and if you see me online, please do it. It's getting late here. It's 10 p.m. and I'm probably not going to be around for too much, so let's do it another time. I'm very happy to look at it. I just want to finish this, maybe answer some questions or some remarks or whatever. What hour you usually start? Yeah, unfortunately that is a hard one. The best way to follow when I stream is to go to Programmer Network and sign up for, just join the meetup there. Sorry, let me find it. So if you join the Programmer Network meetup here, then you'll get an email like ahead of time when I stream. I don't know if you read your emails, but if you do, that is the best I can tell you. Because, you know, I do this for fun, and when I have the time relative to kids and jobs and everything, and my job and everything else, right? So unfortunately, I don't have, nor I will ever have some sort of a schedule, because I do this very casually. My pleasure, man. I'm just extending our editor, our TipTap instance, to provide better experience for writing. So yeah, if you want to write articles on Programmer Network, I'm basically, because I am doing that, so I'm now extending it with more capabilities. I want to make the most amazing editor on the internet for when it comes to writing, mostly for myself for now, and then when more people are writing blogs on our platform, then they will also find it useful. So that is the goal, and you know, interesting. Yeah, actually I like that. I prefer this. Yeah, let's not complicate it too much, right? So if I actually go here now and say slash table image whatever, yeah, that's cool. Okay, very good. Okay, very good, very good. Let me just run the tests once more. Very good. Okay. Yes, let's push this to prod. Let's deploy this bad boy. Let's do some formatting, because typically there's something that's not formatted properly. Beautiful. Okay, very nice. Ah, crap. So hopefully our Husky is gonna pass. We deploy that bad boy. And then maybe I have a couple more minutes of energy in me to implement maybe this and review it and answer some questions. But I think, yeah, sure, I guess we could do the color picker thing. And then I'll probably do the other things off stream. I'm just thinking a little bit, sorry. Josh, my friend, good evening to you as well, man. Good to see you. Thank you for coming, man. Okay, let's deploy this bad boy. I probably have some changes on the remote. Yeah. Let's save this guy. Let's push this. Let's go to our GitHub. That should be fine-ish. Alejandro, where is it? Here. Yale. This is our official library. Actions. Yeah, so a new PR should be opened here soon. By release, please. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Interesting. We're just improving, so if you try to try to write a new article on Programming Network, I've done a lot of work. By the way, for those of you who are part there, if you have a CV, I don't know if any of you are visiting the platform, but now you can import your CV into the platform. So you can go to Profile, Experience, and then here you can only do it every week, once per week. But as you can see, you can now import your experience from your PDF, and the AI is going to handle the rest. So if you want to do that and expose your experience and stuff, you can do that. Basically what I explained here at the front page. So you can just do that completely in 2 seconds. Okay, let's merge this guy and then deploy this to npm. Yes, go to actions, go to publish package, run the workflow here. Beautiful. All right, goody. And then that's gonna be published soon. We're gonna bump it, and then let's maybe Are the resumes saved in the database? Yeah, they're saved. So what I do, I parse the PDF into text, obviously. Then I give it to OpenAI. Oh, I have a couple of tasks, couple of functions that OpenAI executes. It converts them to a specific JSON format, and then they're stored in a database. Yes, that's correct. We have BullMQ, which is an event-based system. So when you upload your resume, we give it to a secondary process, not to the main thread, to the auth process. Infinite, my pleasure, man. Thank you very much as well. I'll also round up very soon, I think, myself as well. So thank you for coming, dude. I'll see you some other time. Okay, where is it? Come on, will you publish already? So I just want to make sure this is published. Then we install a new dependency. We install it. Jonas, good evening, friend. How are you? And then we have this. I mean, you know, Josh, you know that my streams are 2-3 hours max. So now it's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. So that's, you know, that is already like long for me. Not that it's long, I mean, it's long after taking my kids to school, picking them up, going to work, coming from work. So I would say in that sense, it's long, right? Yeah. No worries. I will stream at least once more this week. So probably maybe even 2 times, who knows, depending how I feel. But we'll hang out for sure, man. Don't worry. Wait, what did I want to do? Oh, yeah. You came from the gym. Way better time spent than watching me. Trust me. So that's nothing to regret. I didn't go to the gym today. I'll probably go tomorrow. Since I got a second baby, I've been, you know, not going 4 or 5 times as I'm used to. But, you know, having one more kid is tiring. I don't have infra. I self-host everything. So I have my own server here. So it costs me 70 watts of power. So it costs me, I don't know, in electricity, not so much. But I have a Kubernetes cluster here with you can actually. I don't have a second camera turned on now. I could show you. But I have 3 mini PCs, 4 Raspberry Pis, and they're all running Kubernetes. So you can take a look. Okay. What else is the cure for the mind, right? Listening about ones and zeros and... But we will be doing soon some soldering, some PCB, we're going to be doing some digital electronics as well on this stream. I'm actually looking forward to that. Here behind me, there's a workbench. So I have I don't know if you can see it, I have a microscope and an oscilloscope and so this table behind me is a workbench. So we're going to be doing some digital electronics as well. So I've never done that in a stream and I want to do it. I want to, you know, do some... We design our own hardware and stuff, right? But but I'm gonna set up another camera there at one point in time when I have the time. So because I already have a microscope, I have a digital microscope for soldering and for stuff, which is amazing, one of the best on the market. I can plug it actually through HDMI to the stream as well, so I can share the screen from the microscope. So I think that's going to be very useful. So maybe another webcam or whatever on top of the whole table. So when we learn together digital electronics and stuff like that, I think it can be very fun. And I also have a bunch of other microphones. I have a microphone that very expensive one, few €100 that I can like keep here on my shirt. It's wireless and stuff. So when I move around the office, so I have all of that. I planned that for a long time. It's just there's no time to do this hobby. but hopefully when there's a bit more time, it's gonna be really, really fun. I think so. Yeah. I think let me actually. I'm actually too lazy to stand up now, but I'm also in my pajamas, so. Programmer network, Cloudflare. Let me just see the front end is. Verify you're human. I'm not human, man. What are you talking? I'm a nerd. We're not humans. We're something else. Oh, come on, bro. Are you kidding me, man? Okay. Can't remember my password. What a fascinating thing. Jesus Christ, man. How many times do I have to verify? $40, right. Dude, what is my password? Why can't I log in? What the fuck is happening, bro? I think I'm just tired, man. Okay. Okay. No, it's not down. I'm failing to log in. Fuck you. Give me 1 second. Jesus Christ, man. Fuck's sake, bro. I misspelled my password so many times. I gotta freaking NASA sent me an email. Jesus Christ, man. Calm down, bro. Jesus Christ. Okay, great. Let's go to production. Is the menu there? Beautiful. Okay. Do this. I do this. I say heading. Beautiful. Okay. Code block. Yes. Kinda one thing that sucks is that you can't tab out of that. Noted. To do task. Cool story, bro. But missing a cursor will fix. This is a great... Oh, fuck, this is production. Let me not do that in production. Okay, very good. Very good. Jonas is here. Hi, Jonas. We have a couple of people sign up. Great. All right, cool. Very good. I mean, let's just see if we can, with the help of AI, do one more thing quickly. Just because some people just don't join the stream, and I kind of feel, all right, let's respect these people. What the hell have I been looking for now? Novel, yeah. So let's say here. Okay, great. That's unexpected. Okay. So let's maybe do that as well, and then we can round up, I suppose. Is that crucial? No, but I kind of feel like improving it furthermore with some of these features, so why the hell not? Okay, let's close up all of this crap. Let's go here. Let's go into plan mode. Yeah, Josh, that has been fixed. Yes, for sure. we would like to introduce a color picker to our tip tab. Let's go and let's chat about it first. Ask reasonable questions and ensure that we implement it logically, especially the colors that make sense relative to our current theme. Max, thank you very much for the kind words, and thank you for being here. It goes both ways. I appreciate it. I appreciate when you ask things. That's why I'm here. Thank you for making it fun for me as well, and knowing why am I streaming at the first place. So likewise, man, thank you very much, and we see each other, soon. This week at one point, I will just keep an eye on Programmer Network feed. So next stream that I organize is going to be here. And as I said, Max, many times, you can always just sign up for this meetup here, and then you're going to get an email whenever I create a new event. So because I never know, it comes and goes when I have the time from kids and family and stuff, right? All right, this should be a fairly simple extension to build, I think. So let's kind of do this, and then we can round up and feeling good that we've kind of improved our editor. Because again, as I said, I really want us to provide the most amazing editing experience out there, and I'm serious when I say that. Yeah, so there is this. So this is fairly easy type of thing. I don't have to do this now, but we'll just install this ourselves later. So let's just leave a comment for our future selves some other day. That is a low-hanging fruit, you could say. Let me just give it some directions and stuff like that. So. And also ensure to respect agents, MD file, and build the structure, both file and code structure according to it. How did you learn to code? By writing code, basically. Pretty much, by building things. Same way you would learn how to play tennis, how to play football, how to read. You learn to read by reading, you learn to write by writing, and you learn to program by programming. That's pretty logical, right? I would say. There's no other way. It's common sense, you could say, right? It's common sense, like everything else in life. If you want to become a guitar player, a saxophone player, you have to buy a guitar and practice every day. Programming is no exception to that. It takes many hours, a lot of sweat and tears and joy, but yeah. Okay, let's review as it writes it. Correct, Correct. Neat code YouTube video. I don't know. I've never heard of. I don't know what the neat code is. Honestly, I've never heard of that before. Neat code. Neat code. I have no idea what that is. Neat code. Is it necessary to grind lead code? No, it's not. No. Okay, I've never seen this before, but yeah, so it's some sort of a algorithms, data structures type of thing. Cool. That's great. There's 7 billion of these resources online past 30 years, basically. I see. I would say don't waste much time there. No. I would say there's far greater skills to focus on before you can focus on that. And these skills are building actual products. Because you will not implement a graph algorithm, a search sort, bubble sort, shell sort, or anything when building a web app or whatever, right? So I would say if you don't have the tangible skills, skills that you can sell, wasting thousands of hours or hundreds of hours on solving arbitrary problems, it's not to say that it's useless. That is by no means true. It's actually very good for your brain. But that is good for your brain as a video game. I have time to kill, let me practice some of this stuff. Let me find joy in solving these silly problems. But if you don't have a job and you have to be tangible on the market to do it, then that is a massive waste of time. Massive waste of time. Unless you're gonna apply to Google, Facebook, or some of these giant companies, it's a massive waste of time. He recently came out with a video, but I mean, why does it matter? Like Josh, why does it matter if somebody recorded the video on something, right? I mean, you know, there's videos on YouTube, people licking crap from the ground, and that video has billion views, right? So just because someone said something on the internet, you shouldn't really think much about it, right? People say all sorts of things, and some people, you know, it's completely irrelevant what someone has done, right? So you shouldn't, you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and you know that guy is literally selling you a product on algorithms and data structures. So of course he's gonna try to tell you that that's the most important thing on earth. That's what puts bread on his table. So clearly he's gonna advocate for it. You can't blame him. Like, what the hell, right? A guy that sells certain type of content, a guy that writes Rust is gonna say that Rust is amazing. A guy that writes Golang is gonna... so this is common sense. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all salesperson, right? We all have some sort of agenda for our own personal gain. That's by no means, it would be silly not to conceptualize it that way. There's nobody on this earth that does things without some reason. We all have ultimately some goal in mind, right? So if it's strange for you that a guy who is selling you a product is trying to promote their product, it shouldn't be silly. That's completely logical, right? If he's telling you about algorithms and data structures, then I mean, obviously, you know, he's not gonna be like, oh no, don't, you know. So that is just common sense, right? Yeah, that's weird. I don't see a drop down in the toolbar. Give me 1 second. Let's just let me just. That's a bit weird. Let me just review. I need to review this anyway, so that's fine. Color drop down. Let's see. Is color enabled? Should be. Oh, I see. No, this is fine, I would say. I mean, AI actually hasn't failed here at all. In fact, I do respect what it did whatsoever. Actually, bro, there's no problem. You're good. You're good. You're good. I just built a system around this, so and that it respected that system, so that is perfect. That is perfect. We'll just go here and and say color. And now, in theory, we should see it. And here it is, right? Now, does it work or not? Well, we'll see about that. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be triggering, though. Let's see. Are we getting any errors? Oh, I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Zoom, hey buddy, how you doing? Actually, so we are not including. I think we are missing text style as part of our default extensions. Zoom, I've been improving massively experience of writing articles on Programmer Network. Check it out if you're signed up. But I think I really want to make it as amazing as possible. You know, so I created this Zen mode now where you can so the only thing that's kind of incomplete is the style of the toolbar. But now I've added a lot of writing tools like these marker highlighters and a bunch of stuff. The bubble menu. The toolbar stays on the top. Details, article details are hidden behind this. So that's kind of what I'm working now. And as you can see, we have this new kind of sidebar menu as well. That's also new. Do you have any feature to enable, disable spell check? Thank you very much, man. Yes, we have that on our to-do list. We're going to add the AI feature for writing articles as well. So that's going to be free as well. So if you guys decide to write your blogs, well, I think Programmer Network is going to be a perfect place for that. All right, let me just double check this now. So we're adding another thing for highlighting for the colors. Yeah, that actually, okay, it does work though, but it's kind of glitching a bit. Okay, so I already see. So bam, yes. Okay, so it's almost good. The drop down works great. It should just close once we choose a color. And most likely inside of, let's actually go there, we need to review that stuff anyway. So text style is included, beautiful. So what we actually need to do is here, no, where is it? Where's our new thing? Yeah, here. So, no. Inside of the... So actually what triggered this is that I recently actually I want to write one article a week. So last week I wrote this article on my e-ink tablet, and then I was writing a little bit on Programmer Network, and I've noticed like, fuck, you know, I wrote this article when I took my kid to judo, so I typically sit and wait for him like to finish the training, and then I just write. You can see this is my e-ink tablet. And then as I was writing the article on Programmer Network, I realized, man, crap, this experience isn't very good, right? Because I built all of these features long ago on the stream. So that, and also Cedric, Don't Drop the Database, he also said some things that kind of triggered me, which is very good. So now I really want it to be like first for myself and then for others. So I'm now building it, and that is the good part about it. I'm building it so it's amazing for me. And I know, because I have super high standards. So if it's amazing for me, I know it's going to probably be amazing for most people as well. So now I'm just like, man, I generated the images using Gemini. I generated the image, I can actually show you. So I generated the images using Gemini. Then I removed the, actually I'm going to write an article on this. As you can see, this is kind of where I generate my images. And then I remove the backgrounds from the images. I'm using Gemini, this banana thing, whatever is it called. And as you can see, it kind of does a very nice job. Zom, absolutely, man. That's kind of the idea, yes. I have one more article that's coming. I didn't release it yet, but there's one more article coming, which is actually called the tyranny of if-else. So this is my new article that I'm working on right now, but I need to... What the hell? Exactly, Bounty. Okay, wow, something pretty bad happened here. What happened? I no longer see my... Oh, wait, I mean, I'm not in an edit mode, man. What a fool. What a fool. Primary, okay. Orange. Ah, so nice. There we go. Beautiful. Purple. Great, great, great. All right, one more thing, and let's add some proper width, still narrow. Now, and I think we should be good with that. So now we can also color your text. Again, it's more about providing all the potential tools to incentivize typing and stuff, and provide an author's, in this case of myself for now, a way to really like you know, emphasize and make the articles less plain and more interesting to read, right? And you know, I've also added a image resizing and image like alignment. Now the last thing I'm gonna do, these icons look like crap. They're very poorly organized, so that is very hard, because finding the icons that have the same size, and I'm like pixel freak, it's so hard. It's absolutely insane. And then we need to finalize the autosave, because right now we don't have the autosave, so we're gonna do a proper autosave as well. Nice. There we go. I like that a lot. Okay, perfect. Let's make sure that that's actually being saved in a DB. So let's do this. Let's go here. Ah, crap, it always opens it. Because we need to see, we most likely need to allow certain classes. Yeah, exactly right. The Joker, likewise, man. Good night. I wish you a good sleep, dude. I wish you a good sleep. Okay, this is going to be a little bit problematic. This is not going to properly work, because as many of you know, the core principle behind this platform is security. I apply defensive programming on all layers. I sanitize, I clean up. And in the system that I built for TipTap, I was also very specific that the content editor only can render things that the toolbar supports. That means that because these colors have been now implemented using our custom CSS properties, right? Actually, yeah, not even that, just hard-coded colors. What we would actually need to do now for this to work, we would need to enable the style to be saved as part of our config. And that would be terrible, because then somebody could, in fact, choose any style. So that's not going to work relative to this. Actually, I need to tell that to the AI, because I have this tip tap to HTML thing that I wrote. And so the way you applied colors using the style attribute will not work relative to our sanitizer. And I'm a bit afraid of exposing the style attribute, because in theory users could bypass the UI and store any color. Can we somehow switch to class names as we already have, as that limits the under quotes attack surface, right? Because we don't want that. Of course I can come here and say, oh yeah, users can use style, but that's not what I want. So we need to be very careful about these things. That's why I built this whole system in the first place. So this is really, it's like, so we're now mainly speaking about this thing that we've added, and really like we want to add a couple of these colors. That's it. So again, like you could say, for one, this is maybe completely useless, but this is really more about how can we extend our set of functions while writing, so we can empower people to write. So over time, we should try to add as many useful things here as possible. So when you're writing, you're not feeling like, oh man, I wish I can show a warning, right? Admonition or a dialogue or something. So I think over time, over the next couple of weeks, as I write my own articles, I will try to see, what is the next component that we could expose in our writing experience? Like I already know one, like admonition, right? Like for example, I already know that some admonition like this, Tailwind admonition, like would be like useful, you know, like showing a warning or success or whatever. So there's GDT, hey buddy, good to see you, man. But AI understood what I told it, so that's very good. Thank you for linking that, Cedric. I appreciate it, man. We need to... Security is always our top obsession. And again, there was nothing security here related that could endanger anyone. It's just I don't want to open up the platform for, you know, like, oh, you can just inject whichever color you want. Nah. Not really. Okay, nah, it didn't work, did it? No, that's actually good. Yeah, that is good, in fact. Yes, sure. Yes, there we go, okay. And now if we actually inspect that, right? If we now inspect that, in fact, we should see that now it's adding class names, which we can then, in fact, right? I'm anxious to see how my AI did with its assignments. I told you my opinion about these agents. Like, I only use AI like this, where I review it and I give it a hard time, right? You're very brave for that, and I respect that. I think, yeah. It's a very brave move, but if you do it properly, if you review it, I guess, in detail, that is gonna, I think, it's gonna be defining times in the future to see, you know, what this type of work is going to yield for us, right? Because fundamentally we don't know yet, right? We don't know yet what is going to be the outcome of writing so much code in such a short period of time, right? and I get what's happening here. What's happening is that, yeah, we no longer have that extension enabled, so that is perfectly fine to fail. I would expect it to fail here as well. Yeah, and it's failing here as well because most likely we're missing the text extension. The text editor in the app is fully custom. No, not really fully custom. It's based on TipTap.js, which is an abstraction over Prose Mirror. It's this one. But yes, a lot of extensions that we're writing are built by ourselves, right? So these markers and stuff, etc., etc. Okay, I think I can respect this now at this point. Yeah, it is currently something that you definitely should use if you have a problem with if you have to solve a problem of rich text editing. Yes, absolutely. And you should actually take everything that I built is open source, so you can go to also this library that the Programmer Network uses is the UI library is what we've built inside of the stream. So for sure, man. Man, it's writing good stuff. I have to just say, it's writing good stuff. Like, it's clean and it's nice. Okay, this is like a C level type of argument, but it's fine. We can live with that. That is great, man. That is good to hear. I'm very happy to hear that. Very happy to hear that, man. Okay, and and then default, right? Okay. Okay, very good, very good. I'm happy with that. What happened there? Okay. I don't let it do any UA because it's terrible. It's usually more simple but time-consuming tasks like evaluating and marking each test if it's... No, dude. I mean, I already can see that you're at least on the right path, so you're using it. That is fundamental. And honestly, I think over time, these AI agents, without a doubt, will be some sort of future for... I mean, they already are, right? So that's not even in question. It's just you can see I'm not yet kind of ready to let it do work without me observing it. Because at one point in time, like you see, I do it very incrementally, like a couple of small files, then I review. If I would say, hey, AI built full-fledged end-to-end feature for me, and then I come back and there's like 4,000 lines of code to review, I've learned in my 2 decades career that nobody reviews 4,000 lines of code. You know, there's a meme in programming is like I push a PR of 15 lines changes and there's 3 comments. I push 3,000 lines of code, everything looks good, right? Because nobody reviews that code. It's just impossible, right? It's cognitively, people think about AI and it's like AI has a limited context space. It's like, dude, AI has 17 billion times better context space than human beings. I mean, can you memorize 1 million thing like a context of 1 million tokens or whatever in your mind? It's like absurd. Of course you can't. I mean, it's like humans are so much worse than AI in the context sense, right? I mean, we are maybe good at understanding the system that we have built, like, and the things that we made, like shortcuts that we made, but like saying, oh, AI has limited context, man, it has so much wider context than any human. It's absurd almost. It's like, what? Are you kidding me, bro? Cedric, I'm leaving in 5 minutes as well, man. I love you, man. Thank you for being around, dude. Thank you for being here, man. My Balkan bro. Sleep well, dude. Speak to you tomorrow, man. Okay, to be very frank with you guys, we will push this, we will merge this now, but I will do tomorrow when I'm a little bit more rested, maybe after work or in the morning early during my coffee. I will do a couple of more review sessions, ensure that things are... I really kept all of these open source libraries so well coded, so beautiful, so that the hardest thing today with this amazing AI is assuming that things that it does is good, and it is, but not doing the due diligence and stuff. It would be a shame, right? We would corrode the code. I mean, yeah, I don't know. This already I can see we can write better. There's nothing wrong with this stuff here at all. It's just, yeah, you can see now we could group this a little bit better, like instead of 27 different variables, which again, nothing wrong, but there's some tiny things that, and you know, tiny things are compound, right? When you talk about, oh, it's just a tiny thing. Well, yeah, but 50 tiny things, 30 tiny things in a compound way is what composes your whole software, right? So it's not tiny, right? I was doing some coding on a little project with Copilot, and I had an F# solution with few projects and tried to create some Python scripts and make them executable. And when I asked it why I was doing... I got distracted. I mean, yeah, at least it was honest. Maybe it watched a porn video or something like that. AI can be quite strange, right? Who knows? Who knows? All right, fellas. Let's while I'm pushing the code and deploying it, let's see if anybody has more questions or opinions. You know, like opinions are like buttholes, as we always say. Everybody has one, right? But let's see if I can, while I'm here, and if in case you care about my opinion in the first place, let's let's see if we can discuss something. And in the meanwhile, I'll just deploy this stuff to production. And you don't have to have to watch me do that. So let's see, is there anyone on YouTube watching? Feel free to ask anything, that's why I'm here. No need to be shy or anything like that. So if anybody has any remarks or whatever. I know 14 languages. You know. That guy was amazing. Oh, I know 12 languages. It's like, yeah, all right. The Programmer Network platform, which Ricky, I hope you signed up for, is not fully open source, but I can share the library that is open source that you care about. I will share it with you at this very moment, and then you can also check in the organization. I wrote some other open source libraries, but that is the, you can find in somewhere in the components, you can find the implementation of TipTap, my own implementation, which I believe is, let me not be an asshole, but I would even go as far and say it's probably one of the most awesome TipTap implementations on the internet, because it covers the security part as well. And it covers it in a way where the editor itself, the instance of your editor, and the extensions that the editor has only allows rendering of that type of HTML when you're actually rendering the TipTap content. So in simple words, if a user wants to save or post something, even if the user actually manages to bypasses the UI and post certain tags or whatever, they get sanitized in the API. But anyway, in the UI, they only things that we render are the tags which are actually allowed. So you can go and see there's a lot of code there, but I wish that I had it when I needed it, because I had to build a lot of that stuff, well, all of that stuff myself, right? All right, I'll just wait a little more to see if there's any interesting subjects or something that you guys want to discuss. And Acer, thank you very much, man. That is, I mean, you know, it's also fun for me. And that's why I say when I stream, you know, when people are engaged, when people like have fun as well, then I have fun as well. I think it's when I typically stop streaming, when I disappear for like a year, right? It's mostly because you know, if it has to go both ways, right? I don't mind sharing opinion and helping people, at least with my experience, as I always try. I always say I try to formulate my opinions only on the things that I know and that I've done in production. So maybe that is a bit of a fresh air that this stream is. In simple words, everything that I talk about is something that I've done, not something that I just heard on the internet, right? So I think people do crave for this type of thing, right? And I mean, in this very segregated, non-interesting, field of streaming, having 50, 60, 100 people watching, for someone who doesn't even have TikTok, or I have no social media, right? I would say that tells me that people find it useful to some degree, and that is very awesome to know for me as well, right? Because I don't advertise my stream. I don't have a follow base. I just press stream every now and then, and people join, and I think that's nice. So but I think people are probably a little bit sick of influencers and content creators and stuff. So I think this is sometimes why people come here as well, just to get a sense of some sort of reality at least. La la la. Okay, well, we've I feel I need to complete this project before I start getting out there, but it's isolating. I mean, that is the in Acer, that is the hard part. I mean, the hard part of building products for software developers has always been that it has in rare occasions been technical challenges, right? Oh, I have a hard time building an API, right? No, I think consistency, continuity, because like, what is motivation, right? I think often people misunderstands the meaning of motivation. What is motivation? Well, motivation is the thing that you have when you don't want to do things, because people often conflate motivations like motivation comes and goes. No, that's fucking bullshit, man. It doesn't come and go. Motivation is a thing that drives you when you don't want to do things, right? So to build a product, to build a marriage, to have a successful relationship, you need to be continuous, and you need to be consistent, and you need to be determined. And this has always been hard part about building products, right? Because you will get there 80%, and then these last 20% are often harder than the first 80, and then you're gonna have to share it with people, sell it, talk to people. So of course, even if you end up building perfect software, that software still needs to find its place, and somebody has to know that it exists. So, and then the real struggle starts. Being rejected, you share, oh look man, I built this programmer network, and then the guy is like, I don't give a crap about programmer network, it looks like crap, right? I mean, you have your own under quotes programmer network, right? So the point is, yeah, that is a tough part of it, right? Always has been. So if it means anything, I mean, I don't think that your exception or anyone else's exception to that rule. You just have to set up your priorities, what it is that you care about. And I've had my own, two of my companies 10-15 years ago, both of them failed, and they actually failed because I built them with people who didn't prioritize it, right? I would call my friend and say, hey, did you finish this? And he would like, no, I had to go to football. No, I had to go to whatever. And I'm like, man, no, you didn't have to go to football. You wanted to go to football, more than you wanted to do this, and that is perfectly fine. But then don't commit to things that you don't want to do, right? So, oh, I had to go with my girlfriend. Oh, I had to. No, man, you didn't have to do any of these things. You really could have simply built whatever we were building if you had the drive, the motivation, the continuity, you know, etc., etc. So this is really what separates, the only thing that separates people who build things and people who don't build things, right? It's fundamentally just that level of commitment that they can provide, they can develop. What am I building? C1. Hey, buddy. Well, I'm actually ending the stream very soon, but that is basically what the stream is about, really. It's about... oh, shit, man. Okay, never mind. All good. So what we're typically building on this stream is that platform who asked. Nature Corner. And I'm just kind of chatting now a bit before I end the stream. Alrighty. Waiting for this bad boy to finish. Are you planning to monetize? I mean, I'm not building the product for that sake, right? It's very like... you can only monetize things that have value, right? A concrete value. Right now, this platform doesn't have that sort of value, and that is not really the plan, to be very frank with you either. I mean, I built this platform purely out of passion, and if it one day succeeds, whatever success means to one, for me, success would mean that the software engineers get sick of these crappy other platforms that are distracting them and actually want it. Then I'm not worrying. I mean, I have my own mini data center at home, so I don't pay any for anything. It's basically running this is free. So if over time, for example, Matty, he subscribes to this stream like for 40 months. So I'm sure that if I create some sort of a support pricing page on Programmer Network, there would be a couple of people like him who would like, yeah, let's chip in $10 a month, right? So I'm not really worried about that. I don't really need money for this right now. I made most of it is here. That's the guide that I wrote. I didn't complete it, but you can find. I think I updated the hardware, but I have 4 Raspberry Pis, 3 mini PCs running Kubernetes. Okay. All right, so that should be technically deployed. This is the last article I wrote in production. So if I do this, yeah, that works. Very nice. Okay. So we kind of did two pretty cool things today. Let's see. Oh, nice. We have how many people? Have like 6 people, 6 people signed up today. Thank you very much, guys. That is very cool. That's very cool of you. Okay, guys. I think I'm gonna round up. I can hear that my wife is still awake, and I might just chill out with her a bit before we go to bed. Then I need to go to work tomorrow and take my son to school very early. So what is to say, another time where we hanged out, and I really enjoyed it. Hopefully some of you have as well. So thank you very much. Nature Corner, likewise, thank you for your follows, your subs, or whatever, and I'll catch you guys up some other time this week. If you care to know, as I shared several times already, you can sign up for the meetup there, and then when I create a new event, you're gonna get an email, so I don't actually know when that is gonna be, but likewise. Anyway, good night everybody, and see you some other time, guys. Peace out. Bye bye.